Namaste, Hare Krishna. Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraika Panaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gita Amrita Duhe Namaha. Obeisances to Krishna, who's a tree of fulfillment. He is Katpaha Vriksha, who bestows all desires to all those who totally surrender unto him. He who delivered this wonderful nectar called Bhagavad Gita for the protection of this world. In this session, let's learn the glories of the 5th chapter. In a city called Prikutsam, there lived a Brahmana by name Pingala. He was born of a noble lineage. His ancestors were all Vedic scholars, strictly following the religious practices. Instead of following in the footsteps of his ancestor, Pingala studied music, dance, and became highly proficient in those two. His fame spread everywhere. Even the king liked his music greatly and appointed him as a court musician. The king showed affection on Pingala and they became good friends. Pingala became very proud and then he started going in a wrong route. He got into bad companies. Because he was proud of his position and intimacy with the king, he started doing wrong things. He especially enjoyed criticizing others to the king in private. Pingala had a wife whose name was Aruna. She was born in a low-class family. She was very lusty and enjoyed relationships with many other men. When her husband Pingala found out her activities, she decided to kill him. Late one night, she chopped off his head and buried his body in the garden. Pingala went to the world of Yama. He was sentenced to suffer in many kinds of hell. After suffering for a long time in hell, Pingala took birth as a vulture. His wife Aruna, after freely enjoying with many men, contracted venereal disease and her youthful body very soon became ugly and unattractive. When she died, she went on to hell, and after having suffered for a long time over there, she attained the body of a female parrot in the same forest where the vulture was also living. One day, that parrot was searching for food. In the meanwhile, the vulture, who in his previous life had been Pingala, saw the female parrot and remembering his last life, understanding that this parrot had been his wife, who was cause of his death, he attacked her with his sharp beaks. The parrot fell down in the water contained in a human skull and drowned. Just then a hunter came and shot the vulture with an arrow. The vulture fell and his head dropped into the water of that skull and he drowned. Both the birds reached the court of Yama, fearing all kinds of punishment. To their surprise, Yama addressed them saying, "Both of you are of great merit. You can proceed to whichever world of merit you choose." When Pingala and Aruna heard this, they were wonder-struck and inquired from Yamaraj how they, being such a sinful persons, can be free from punishment and moreover can be released to go to any world of their choice. Yamaraj replied, "On the banks of the river Ganga lived a great devotee of Sri Vishnu by the name of Patu. He was free from lust and greed. Daily he recited the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and when Patu gave up his body and reached Brahmaloka, both of you fell into his skull and died. Due to that contact, all your sins have been eradicated. You are sanctified. You can proceed to Punyaloka of your choice." Thus, the parrot and the vulture came to know the greatness of the fifth chapter. They approached a bona fide spiritual master and took instructions from him and started reciting the fifth chapter, and they both attained a good result. In this chapter, fifth chapter, it explains that how Karma Yoga leads to the direct vision of the self more quickly than Jnana Yoga does. And this chapter explains the difference in some of the elements of Karma Yoga. Description of the way of meditation on the self as a non-doer. Namaste. Hare Krishna.